This video was brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get top quality razors delivered to your door starting at just $1 a month. Link below in the description. Skip it up and that up. Man, nothing but good news to talk about. So yesterday, Assassin's Creed Unity, which is the first true next-gen Assassin's Creed title, was released. And the frame rate on all of the platforms, not just the PS4, not just the Xbox One. Actually, if you look at Digital Foundry's video, the Xbox One version has a better frame rate than the PlayStation 4 version, but it still is shitty. It still is sub 30 frames per second on the Xbox One in a lot of places. But anyway, all three platforms, the frame rate is god-awful, and a lot of people are pissed off. As a matter of fact, if you look on Steam, the game is getting a ton of negative reviews, and they're all pretty much saying the same thing. I'll read you a couple of those user reviews. Here's a good one. This user on Steam wrote this about Assassin's Creed Unity. Very, very, very poorly optimized, buggy, broken engine. Running on an i7-2600K, still a very relevant CPU, with 16 gigs of DDR3 and two 290Xs. Those are AMD cards running in Crossfire, and on low he's getting up to 40 frames per second. This is what else he wrote. This is absolutely unacceptable. This has to be the laziest release from Ubisoft yet. How much worse can it get? Then he wrote there was an update here. AMD Catalyst 14.11.1 drivers yield crossfire functionality with no performance increase. A single 290X in use yields even lower frame rates at roughly 20 to 30 frames per second. Oh boy. Another user on Steam wrote a not recommended review. This is what he had to say. Runs like shit, trotting storyline, forced narrative sequences, which I actually heard that from mainstream reviews too, so it's not just this guy saying that. Uninspired combat system. Honestly, Assassin's Creed, in my personal opinion, always had that. Uncreative and unoptimized. Also, Uplay and horrible AI. And this guy has a pretty decent rig too. GTX 690, 4 gigabytes, i7 3970X, and he's getting 10 to 30 frames per second max on any setting. If you just watched my Halo the Master Chief Collection and how 343 Industries put up this fake heartfelt apology, it's the same thing. Ubisoft released a half-baked game that was poorly optimized for all platforms, not just PC this time. And we paid $60, or I haven't yet. I didn't buy it, and I'm not going to buy it, especially if it's in this shape. A lot of people paid $60 for a game that's broken. It's a slideshow. A game, there was some spots, I looked at the Digital Foundry video, where the game on the PS4, which actually had a crappier frame rate, was running at 19 frames a second. 19 frames a second is a slideshow. That's not playable. That isn't a PC elitist thing to say. 19 frames a second, please go look at the video, I'll have it below in the description, is disgusting. It literally looks like someone just taking a bunch of still pictures and throwing them across your face slowly. But again, Ubisoft, they wanted the game out for the holidays. They wanted it because they know that people who don't know any better, who are uneducated on the industry, which not everyone's going to be nerds like you and I, keeping up on every little fart that comes out, who are just going to blindly buy the game because little Timmy, their son, wants the newest Assassin's Creed, and they're going to drop the $60 and not know any better until they bring it home and see that it runs like shit. Hopefully by this time December comes around, and for the kids that are getting this game for the holidays, or whoever is getting this game for the holidays, hopefully they'll patch it by that point. But again, another game that could have waited for months to come out, had all of its issues resolved, then be released, instead of worrying about getting it out for the goddamn holidays and rushing it out the door. Now, seeing all these issues with Assassin's Creed Unity makes me very nervous for Far Cry 4, which I pre-ordered ages ago for the PC. It's in my Steam library right now, ready to go, waiting for the 18th of November. The only thing that makes me a little more confident with Far Cry 4 is that Far Cry 3 was actually one of the few Ubisoft PC games that ran very well. I had it on a GTX GeForce 670 NVIDIA card, of course. running at over 60 frames per second, close to max settings, if not max settings. So yeah, that game looked gorgeous and it ran very well, which for Ubisoft is a rarity. So I'm hoping that Far Cry 4 will be the same thing. But when I see like Assassin's Creed Unity being released on all platforms running like shit, makes me a little nervous. And obviously I can't get my money back. I paid for the game ages ago. So this trend needs to stop, man. It really does. I'm getting very tired of broken games being released at full price. And it's almost like the industry expects us just to buy garbage now. It really is. But eventually people will catch on and everyone will just say fuck it and stop buying games. Like I said, it may be tomorrow, it may be 5 years from now, but it will happen. And then we will see another crash in the industry if shit like this doesn't change. I promise you. All right, folks, this is Rich of Review Tech USA. Make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting my channel. Have a good one.